hello. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome back. We are so, how's today going? Yes, and how is lunch? Wonderful. We are so pleased to have with us Miss Christina and Miss Gwen's Miss Sparkle, 3- and 4-year-old classroom from Little Scholars Child Development Center. They are here to entertain us.
Okay, step back. Don't need some room for the baby. Man, I'm about to stand right. Do not, just come over here. Do not run when it march in place. Okay, do not run. I guess he can go. Set. Selena.
Can we have one more courageous clap for our youngsters? These little babies have on shirts that say, "I am the world's future," and they are. Thank you so much, cutie pies. I said that to a little kid a couple of weeks ago, and he said, "Does she really think I'm a pie?" No, you're sweet like pie, honey. So cute. So next we'll have our lunch energizer with Living Arts leading that as well. And for those who maybe weren't here during the morning plenary, Living Arts is an early learning program that's based on Detroit Wolf Trap that serves children from birth to kindergarten in Head Start, early Head Start, informal care, and many other early childhood spaces all over Detroit. Kimberly Boyd will lead us through this activity in just a moment, and she is one of 10 Living Arts Detroit Wolf Trap artists. She is an internationally recognized arts integration specialist, a professional dancer, a certified yoga therapist, a dedicated supporter of early childhood educators, and a master of movement in a variety of realms, including healing and all other aspects of life. So you guys know I am not a singer, but I am a dancer. So help us, Kimberly.
All right, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. How you doing? All right, so I believe we are at our BEST, which spells when we are dancing, whether we are literally dancing or whether dance becomes a metaphor for that thing that we do that helps to make the community a better place, right? And so if it is safe for you to do so, what I would like for you to do right where you are is just pause and take a nice easy breath in through your nose and gently blow it out through your lips. And repeat, breathing in through your nose and out through your lips. And 1/3 time in through your nose. This time, make this sound. Ah. And now just breathe on your own. So I like to remind the children, and in fact everyone that I work with, that we're at our BEST, which spells Best because it's the acronym that helps to organize the principles and tools of my art form, dance, right? And so the B by itself reminds us that dancers use their bodies, right? So the body is the tool. The tool is our assets. The assets in the room are you. You. So often what we do in early childhood is help our young learners pay attention to their bodies, because you need to listen to your body so there's no accidents and puddles to clean up, right? So I invite you right now, as the assets in the room, to just simply listen to your bodies for just a minute. And I wonder, what part of your body would really love to move right now? Okay, I hear feet, I hear shoulders. Some of you are showing me, and that's a beautiful thing about movement too. For our young learners, the movement can speak for you even before you have the language to speak for yourself. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna say go, and when I do, while I'm counting to 8, you can simply move whatever part of your body needs to move, okay? But these are the rules. Right where you are, just remain in your own personal space, please, that area where you're not going to bump into anybody else. So actually, let's practice. Look around and notice where you have room to move. Like, use your eyes, and even, can you move to the side of you? Can you move to the other side? Everybody ready? Okay. All right, so for the next 8 counts, count along with me. You can move whatever part of your body would like to move right now. Get ready, get ready. Here we count. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Freeze. Right where you are. Because when we are dancing, the frozen shapes we make with our body are just as important as emotion. Plus, you can tell the difference between if you are moving and if you are not. A really important lesson. So everybody, rest your bodies. All right, so now the E reminds us that, it takes energy to move your body. Energy. So this is where we build descriptive language. So if you were gonna give a word that describes how I'm moving right now, what would you call this? Yeah, kind of either spastic or antsy. Sometimes the energy in the room feels kind of like this, right? But you've shown me that you can maintain your own personal space, please. So now we're going to isolate the movement into your hands. When I say go, try to recreate that spastic, that sharp, that whatever you were calling it energy in your hands. We'll stop together on 8. Ready and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Freeze. Nice. Breathe in and breathe out. And notice what it feels like in your body that you've gotten a chance to move like that. Right? So now let's try the opposite energy. What would be the opposite? Who can give me a word or show me how we would move that would, I see this, I see this. So what just happened? We went from moving like this, which was kind of fast and chaotic and seemingly out of control, but it was in control. You were controlling your own space, to moving in a way that is more peaceful, fluid, calm. Listen to all of the words that you're using. The arts give us the power to use our imagination to transform even what seems like the most chaotic situation into something else. And I think that's what the hope is in the room, that we know that we've come together to acknowledge that we have the power of transformation literally in our hands. All right, so dancers got math. I'm using the number 8. We've now got 2 energy qualities we need to do. How should we use the numbers? Yeah, we got 8. We got to get 2 ideas into 8 beats. What should we do? You want to do each of them for 8? Give ourselves more time. All right, so for the first 8 counts, we're moving with this energy that was kind of, what were the words you used? And for the second, you're going to control your body and transform the energy. All right? Okay, ready? Ready? Here we go. And 1, 2, 3, keep going. 4, keep going. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, how'd you do? Right? And how did it feel to have a chance to move your body in that way? Right? All right, so now the S reminds us that dancers need to be aware of their space. And so sometimes you work as a soloist by yourself, and that's what you've been doing so far. But we know in this work that if the hope is in the hands in this room, that means we got to have creative collaborations, right? So I need you to turn and introduce yourself to the person next to you so you know who you're dancing with. Okay. All right. Oh, I can see we're ready. Okay. And so, dancers, community assets, here is the creative problem or challenge, because a challenge is a problem you can solve. I think a challenge is the problem you can solve. So, what you're going to do, when I say go, when everybody make a round shape somehow with your body. Now, typically people use it, oh, I see this. Okay, what else is there? Oh, like this, like look at how many different creative solutions there are to doing the same idea. And even some of you who look like you're doing the same thing, if we watch really carefully, ooh, you are not. So I'll give you a chance to practice. Ready? And a round shape with either your whole body or part of your body by yourself. Ready? And go. And rest. Okay. So you met challenge number 1. Challenge number 2 is find a creative way to connect your round shape with the people's round shape next to you. Okay? I'll give you like 5 whole seconds to figure it out. You might have to stand up. Okay. What's going on over here? Okay. Oh, look at all the solutions. Nice. Okay. Interconnecting. I see different levels. All right. And we're ready in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Carefully disconnect. Very nice. Woohoo! Nicely done. All right. So now, we are at our BEST best, and now you know that the B by itself reminds us of the bounty, the treasures that we are. The assets are in the room. The E, energetically, sometimes it may feel and look kind of like this, but we have the power of transformation through imagination and collaboration, which is what you just did. Because those are big words, especially for little people. But the question is, how are we going to practice and understand what they mean? That's the power of the arts. And last but not least, the T means that anything worth doing just might take a little bit of time. All right, so we've been counting to 8 together. So 8 is the organizing principle that tells us how many or how long right now, because counting and numeracy is very important in the educational process of young little people, okay? All right, so now, I want to begin with the end in mind. If we get this thing right, and we build a community where every child is taken care of and honored, and families have the resources they need in order to be successful and safe and whole, I wonder, what will that look like? What will that look like? And instead of talking about it, let's see if we can be about it in our bodies. And somebody give me a shape. Yeah? What would it look like when we get there and we do this thing the way that we imagine? Can you capture that in a shape in your body that might be the memorial statue, right, in honor of this process? So now, that's a big idea to think about. So I'm going to give you a little time to be a little bit of a scientist and experiment and explore. 30 whole seconds. To try out some ideas in your body, find a shape. What would your statue look like? We have succeeded. Ah, I see this. Ooh, I see this. I see this. I see this. I see this. Very nice. Okay. So now, okay, when I say go, everybody do whatever movement idea you came up with for yourself and be prepared to hold it while I count to 4. Okay? Ready? Ready? Here you go. And 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then to end in unison, if you can see me, try what I'm doing. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Ooh, and some of you are like wondering what's it going to be like to stand up. So if you haven't stood up already, that's how this is going to end, all right? Okay. All right? All right? Nice. Okay, so now, dancers, maestro, will you play that piece of music? You can stay standing, because doesn't it feel good to stand? All right, so we're going to put it all together. The arts not only help us practice interesting concepts like collaboration, but the proof is in the art form. We can tell what you know, remember, and understand by the song that you sing, the picture that you draw, or the dance that you do. Okay, hit it. Okay, so everybody, just standing still for a moment. Take a nice, easy breath in and blow it out. Okay. So the first part of our dance is body. For 8 counts, you get to move your body in whatever way feels good to you. Get ready, here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Next is our energy, so we have to transform it. Remember, sometimes it's gonna look like what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, but we can change it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and what was that shape you made by yourself? And go, nice and round on your own, because sometimes it's lonely work. You're working on your own as a soloist. But thank goodness we're in the room with like-minded others on the journey. Okay, connect. Ready, here you go. Connecting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, nice. Feeling pretty good? Now, we've got one more to do, the T, the time. Now here's the thing. Some solutions will come really quickly, and some might take a little time. But I believe if we keep going, we will get there, all right? So I need you to pick a number for yourself between 1 and 8. You got it? Any number between 1 and 8. You have it? Okay, when I say go, tell the person next to you what your number is. Ready, and go. All right. Okay. Now, the reason you chose a number is that is going to be when you start building your final sculpture. So I wonder who chose a 1 and who chose a 2 and who chose a 3 and a 4 and a 5 and a 6 and a 7 and an 8. And then when everybody's there, we'll do our grand finale, okay? You got your number in mind? Get ready to make your shape. This is what it looks like when we get there. 1. And where are the 2s? And where are the 3s? And where are the 4s, the 5s, the 6s, the 7s, the 8s. All right, and all together. And just breathe in and feel what it feels like to stand in victory, right? To have a vision of what it can be, even while we are yet creating it. Look around and see who's on the journey with you, no matter whether they got there quickly or whether it took them a while. All right, so once again, everybody breathe in and breathe out and give yourselves a hand. My name is Kimberly. It is an honor to be on the journey with you in service of the children in this community. I'll see you when we get there and at points along the way.
Go back down to the end to get your mic on. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our lunch plenary. Please welcome to the stage Wendy Lewis Jackson, Managing Director of the Kresge Foundation, and Faye Nelson, the Michigan Director of the W.K. Kellogg Foundation.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Wendy Jackson, and Faye and I have the honor of making an important introduction. You know, as I thought about our new implementation director, Denise Smith, where's Pastor Simmons? I went to Scripture. And, you know, and I thought about to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. And as I thought about Denise, she was born for this role. This is her purpose, and we are so honored and privileged to have her as our new Hope Starts Here implementation director. And to ensure you know that after conducting an exhaustive national search, we couldn't imagine anyone more qualified for this job she is stepping into her purpose. Denise is a veteran early childhood educator, administrator, and leader who began her career in early child care as an in-home provider 26 years ago, and went on to work as a grassroots early learning advocate and a Head Start director right here in Detroit's Brightmoor neighborhood. Brightmoor up.
Not yet. So, since then, Denise has directed Great Start to Quality, an online quality child care resource tool. She's worked as Vice President of Early Childhood at Excellent Schools Detroit and served as Executive Director of Flint Early Childhood Collaborative and EduCare, Flint. Since its inception, Denise has served on the Hope Starts Here Stewardship Board. Now that she's moving into the most important role of Implementation Director, Denise will accelerate the work of this initiative to move it faster and farther for Detroit's young children. But before we bring this wonderful, wonderful, most accomplished lady to the table, or to the stage rather, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge two individuals. If you think about today and how wonderful today has been, the way that we've been able to fellowship, we've been able to come together, we've been able to celebrate our most important assets, our beautiful babies. We wouldn't be here today without the strong and amazing and hardworking leadership of two individuals, Eileen Storr-Smith and Jonathan Way. Can you both stand up and be acknowledged? So I have to just tell you, Eileen is on my team with the Kellogg Foundation, Jonathan on Wendy's team with Kresge, and for 6 weeks, day in and day out, they'd start at 7 a.m., they'd talk, I'd get a call. Then Wendy would get a call. Then it would be 6 p.m., I'd get a call, Wendy would get a call. But they really have worked so hard and so passionately with such great respect and love for our children. So thank you both very, very much. And now, it is my honor and my privilege and pleasure to introduce our Implementation Director, Denise Smith.
Thank you. I so appreciate all of you. Appreciate the love and the warm welcome. I am honored and thrilled to have the opportunity to speak with you and to be able to do this work with so many colleagues and parents who are equally passionate and committed. In a city that I love, my hometown. For Detroit's youngest citizens and their families. Today marks a new chapter in how we will work together and build on our current assets. By 2027, we have committed to making Detroit a city that puts young children and families first. Spearheaded by the W.K. Kellogg and Kresge Foundations, we embarked upon this journey 3 years ago. That has resulted in many conversations and a much-touted early childhood framework to guide our work, our next steps, as we achieve some very specific outcomes. Now, we all know the science. The evidence is substantial that investing in early childhood levels the playing field and decreases the emergence of large inequalities later in life. What we also know is that too many of our children are not faring well at this moment. So armed with that knowledge, it's time for us to roll up our sleeves and collect our energy together to create a system that is responsive to the needs of children birth to age 8 in this city. Last week, I attended a convening of some leaders at different states, and one of these leaders, all of them are involved in this kind of broad collective work, but one of them shared a response from a parent that really resonated with me, especially as I think about our next steps in this journey together. That parent said, "Don't meet me where I am. Meet me where I dream." So I want us all to just sit with that for a moment more. You see, because that statement holds so many possibilities, so many opportunities for our children. And it's stepping into those possibilities and creating those opportunities that will drive our work as we operationalize this Hope Starts Here framework. But before going into next steps, I would like to take a quick step back and take account of all the things that we've accomplished already. As mentioned, we've had a lot of conversations, and those conversations actually led to a groundbreaking community engagement of 18,000 residents. 18,000 Detroiters who not only shared their challenges, but their hopes and dreams for young children. This led to, in 2017, the establishment of the Hope Starts Here framework. W.K. Kellogg and Kresge Foundations that same year announced a $50 million investment to improve outcomes for young children. And as we heard earlier, Other funders have now joined these leaders by adopting the framework to guide their own investments. In 2018, we laid the foundation for Hope Starts Here implementation by devising a governance structure and outcomes based on community input, data, and research. And we began to identify our imperative leads while aligning with ongoing and developing collective efforts. Now we're embarking upon deep implementation that began with my onboarding in September, finalizing our governance structure, and in October, continuing the selection of imperative leads, prototyping some implementation tools and processes. And today, we're actually sharing and celebrating 3 years of momentum and successes. Next month, we'll begin to dig in a lot deeper as we prepare for 2020 and beyond. Now, Hope Starts Here is a community-wide engagement and activation process that supports the healthy and whole development of children within the context of their families. The Hope Starts Here framework consists of 6 imperatives: what we must do to envision the city that we want, 15 strategies aligned and recommended action steps. And today you've heard an awful lot already about those 6 imperatives, but what I'd like to stress is that these have been affirmed nationwide as the key levers necessary for a cohesive, cooperative early childhood system. These 6 necessary conditions are promoting the health, development, and well-being of children, of supporting parents and caregivers as children's first teacher and primary advocate, increasing the overall quality of early childhood programs, guaranteeing safe and inspiring learning environments, creating those tools and resources to better coordinate our systems that impact early childhood, and finally, finding new ways to fund early childhood and make better use of current resources. Each of these imperatives is led by a community-based imperative lead. Now, having these imperative leads on board signals that we are poised for action. And while it was my desire to have at least 4 of these leads online by the end of this year, I am happy to announce that 5 of the 6 are in various stages of onboarding. Those fully on board as of today are for imperative number 1, which is co-led by Henry Ford Health Systems and Detroit Health Department. Imperative number 2, Impact Detroit, that is also spearheading our Champions for Hope. Imperative number 4, led by IFF Detroit, our local facilities expert. And imperatives 3 and 5 are yet in progress, but I am confident that we will have these decision points by year end. Through this distributed leadership, we will act on a community-wide vision, purpose, and outcomes that are responsive to the voice needs of community and based on a breadth of evidence and research. We will align existing community resources prior to adding new, operate based on shared community principles, and utilize an effective organizational structure. Imperative leads, along with sector partners and the implementation director, will develop an implementation success plan, an effective outcomes-driven process for co-designing solutions with action teams. Engage the broader community in intentional campaigns via calls to action, track and report our progress, reflect and course correct when necessary, all the while using effective and efficient communication and feedback loops, including the use of social media and other vehicles through which community can remain plugged in. Now, all of these activities are supported by a solid organizational structure that consists of a stewardship board, an executive committee drawn out of that stewardship board, and what you see circled as an operational board. That operational board consists of the executive committee, the imperative leads, and the implementation director. What this structure affords is nimble input, guidance, and resourcing of scalable prototypes. So as I prepared this discourse, I asked myself, how can I convey this very complex coordination and these key operating principles in a way that can be readily understood by all? So what I decided is to take advantage of the Thanksgiving holiday that's quickly approaching us. For many of us, this is a time where we come together with friends, families, and others to give thanks for all the goodness in our lives, including, and perhaps sometimes especially, the food. For those of us who host and or cook for these gatherings, you know that this is a lot of work. Yes? Okay. So even though we have our prized recipes, our secret sauce, and revel in the fact that others are enjoying our foods, we will not turn down and assist in prepping this meal. As example, one of my signature dishes is a homemade apple pie. And while I'll pull out all the ingredients and maybe even make the dough for the crust the night before, I will not hesitate to call on assist to roll out that dough, to cut the apples, and maybe even layer in some of the ingredients, some sugar, flour, butter, cinnamon. And by the time this meal is ready, others will have contributed in cutting up yams and washing greens, all the things necessary for us to enjoy this feast together. Likewise, through this cross-pollination of ideas or exchange of recipes, if you will, and the cooperative work between organizations, foundations, parents, community-based organizations, and others, we will create a feast from which Detroit families with young children can quite literally eat. Be supported in their health and well-being, in their capacity to advocate for themselves and their children's education and care. This will become our new normal and be sustained in years to come. So how will we know that we're on track? We will see evidence of active participation where partners feel heard and comfortable developing trusting relationships that lead to concrete cooperative action steps. Moreover, we will influence policy efforts and strengthen working relationships with both local and state government, all while incorporating parent voice. The community will feel energized and nourished by its increased capital, social, financial, and intellectual. We will have co-created an infrastructure to ensure that our children thrive, that they have the opportunities and experiences to become their very best selves by shifting the conditions that are holding today's problems in place. No longer will more than 80% of Detroit's children be faced with retention at third grade. Instead, our children will be able to embrace their creativity and wonder as independent, critical thinkers prepare for the task at hand and those to come. Detroit is indeed a community rich in people who care deeply about our children. And as I close, I would like for each of us to think about the role that we play in the lives of these children. So if you are an early childhood provider, please stand and continue standing. If you are a school teacher at any level or school administrator, please join those standing. If you work in the medical field, please stand. If you are a civil servant, police officer, fireman, employee of city or state government, stand with us. If you work in philanthropy, please join those standing. If you are an advocate for children and families, stand. I want you to look around, take stock, and know that herein lies our power to effect change. If each of us truly believes that we have a critical role to play in creating the future that we want for Detroit's children and families, please join me in saying, hope starts with us. Hope starts with us. Hope starts here. Hope starts here. We are the champions for hope. We are the champions for hope. I thank you. Please be seated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So it is now my pleasure to introduce you to my colleague and friend, Dr. Kresge. I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. Dr. Eze is the founder of the Early Learning Neighborhood Collaborative in Grand Rapids. She is a mother, an educator, a thought leader, a voice for vulnerable children every day, everywhere. Her very life embodies education, and I am so fortunate to have her in this work with me. Thank you. Thank you.
Wow, as you can tell, I'm literally recovering from being sick. But I told myself, really? Hope Starts Here is kicking off. I must be here, dragging myself from getting here. And when people like Denise, Kamara, WKKF, Kresge say be here, are you kidding me? You go. So thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. I thrive for stuff like this. I live for stuff like this. What am I talking about? People gathering saying enough is enough. We can sit back and take it and see our children not doing well year after year. Policies are being made for our children. What do you think the third grade reading law is all about? And we are coming together to push back on that. So thank you so much. Today I wanted to talk about how do we support parents as champions of hope. Why is it that important? We know that children exist within the context of a family, and the family exists within the context of a community. So if we don't support our parents, 20 years from now, we're going to be here again, starting a new initiative, and we're not going to do that, are we? No. Okay. So today, I am going to focus on, I wanted to show this slide because I've been in this work for over 25 years. And I feel like the more America changed, the more Michigan changed, the more Detroit changed, the more Kent County changed, the more it stays the same. For over 25 years, we are talking about the same thing. that we must lift up the most vulnerable among us. And I'm always bold, and it gets me in trouble sometimes. But let's not color it up. We must lift the black and brown children up. And I have been in this work because I'm a mom. I have 5 excellent children. I call them excellent because I want to send that energy. And I want anybody coming around my excellent children to be prepared. Because if you mess with something that I think is excellent to me, yeah. So today, we can go to the next slide. Thanks. So today is really how do we support our parents. But not supporting our parents just, giving them hands down. This is what you need to do. Case managing them. We don't want to case manage our children, our parents. We want to lift them up. So today I'm going to talk to you about several things. What do we know about parents? What is being currently done to support parents? Why should parents be supported? And at the end, I will leave you to a call to action for you to reimagine the way we do parent education. Okay. So I'm going to ask you a question for a minute. What do we know about parents? Parents show up. Parents show up. Okay, no showing out. Okay, show up. I'm like, and that's the thing. If we show up, we gotta stay. We can't show out. Okay. What else do we know about parents? What? They do their best, and I like that. They do their best. I can't give what I don't have. The best I have is the best that I have. I can't do your best. I can't do your best. I can do my best. So think about that for a minute. When I'm doing my best and I'm being pushed back like I'm not doing my best, it starts wearing the soul out of you, right? What else do we know about parents? They love their children. And we can keep on going on and on and on. You know where I'm going with this. Parents love their kids. Barring any mental illness. Barring any mental illness. Yes, we have some parents that need help. But you know the problem that I have with our society? We use that lens of parents that need help, and we use it to judge all parents. If you don't tease out the parents that needs help, we start treating every parent like they are that. But if we remove that, we know that parents are the first teacher. The parents are the resident expert of their kids. You can tell me about my kids. I'm going to be the one telling you about my kids. Now, when I go to conferences, I'm going to say, she did that? Are you sure? But deep down, you see, she's my very own. Remember, she's my excellent one. So I'm not going to tell you that she did it. You're going to have to work hard and tell me that she did it and why she did it and what you were doing when she did it. Parents are the encourager of their kids. We are encourage our kids. We are the first one that they see, and we make dreams possible for them. I don't see any of us that haven't seen our parents struggle, haven't seen our parents go through everything they're going. So tell me how you, a caseworker, living 25, 30 minutes away from my community, is going to be the one to tell me what my child needs. You know, we like to come in, drive in, walk, try to help the family, and then go back. Okay, don't get me started. The parents are the best of everything for their kids. That's what we know about parents. So let me ask you, what are we currently doing to support parents? Yeah, I'm glad you've seen all the images. What are we currently doing to support parents, knowing that they are the resident expert, they're the first teacher, they are the encourager, the best advocate? What are we doing? Tell me. We tell them what to do. I'm an empty slate. Let me tell you how to raise your child. Or if you happen to be a person of color, oh, you don't know nothing. I used to tell people as soon as she opens her mouth, because if you happen to be a person of color with an accent, child, you don't know nothing, nothing, nothing. You are way back. What we do for parents. We plan for parents. We strip power away from parents. I was doing my master's degree and I wanted to enroll my child in a preschool program. And we all lined up. Everybody, when you come, you get a flip chart, not a flip chart, like a clipboard where you fill out the form. When it got to me, the lady said, oh, just 1 minute. Oh, I knew where that was coming. Just 1 minute, and she took care of the lady behind me. And then she came to me, she said, okay, sit down here. How can I help you? I said, I'm here to enroll my child into the program. And she said, oh, what is your child's name? So obviously, I can't speak English. I said, oh, I love stuff like that. Because my children all have African names. So she said, what's your daughter's name? I said, Onyinye Chukwu Eze. She said, what? I said, I'm going to say it again. I may even say it slow. I said, Onyinye Chukwu Eze. And she said, can you spell it? Yeah. No, I didn't have the energy to go all that far. I just took a deep breath and I said, if I could spell it, I could write it. So next time, give me the opportunity to do it, and then I will tell you I need help. This is what, in a nutshell, what we do with our parents. We strip them of their self-esteem. We strip them of the energy they have. We strip them of what they have. So what we do for our parents, especially the black and brown families, we try to send a message right then. You don't know anything. And sometimes it's not really easy for our parents to have a comeback because the system have been beating on you, beating on you, beating on you. And when we do have that comeback, oh, you have an attitude. Why are you so emotional? I'm emotional because it's personal. I'm emotional because you're dealing with my very own, and you don't do that and get away with it. So I say this because until we begin to give parents the power and support them, and let's not start educating parents when you don't know what I have. You have to find out what I have before you can educate me. Yeah. Yeah. So parents should be the champions of hope because without them, we can't really do anything. We can't be here without parents. They are the beginning of everything, and we must support them at all costs. So it is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. Yeah. This was what, in the 1800s. And the country that have the largest body of research in the whole world are investing more in repairing men than building strong children. Yeah. Pendulum keep on swinging, swinging. We need to hold this straight. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that we cannot be investing in treatment, but we must invest in prevention. We need to bring it together and be able to work with our children and our family. So let me take you to what Grand Rapids is doing to begin to change the narrative and begin to reimagine how we engage our parents. ELNC started in 2010. But even with my background in early childhood education, it didn't occur to us that we have left the most important people behind, the parents. We were running and running trying to create preschool slots. And we were running, just building preschool slots. Like if we get the children in preschool, they're going to be okay. In 2012, I started literally getting depressed because parents were not coming. And we built it. We spent time doing all that. It dawned on me when I started kind of unpacking things that we needed to use a two-generation approach. We needed to use that lens. The sheer amount of energy we put on our children, we must put that on our parents. Again, remember what I said, children do not exist alone. They exist within that context of a family. So ELNC two-generation approach to early intervention addresses the toxic, often persistent stresses that families in poverty experiences. Parents are essential partners in child development and educational process and must not only be the solution, but the driving force. Our parents must lead and then we follow. If we don't put parents in front, we are in trouble. The children will spend 6 hours in a preschool program, 8 hours in a preschool program, but they go home with their parents. So we need to hit it. What I know now from my own background is that areas that have the largest concentration of poverty deserve the largest concentration of resources. We are not doing that in Michigan. Oh yeah, I know some of my Michigan friends are here. We're not doing that. What we do is that we release funding for all Michigan children. We release funding for all Detroit children, all Kent County children. We must use the equity lens when we are doing funding. Because if we don't, we are going to leave so many children behind. So in 2012, I realized that for us to make the dent and not be a part of the same cycle we're revolving around, we need to pay attention to our parents. Develop a model called, it's not a program, it's a model called EPIC, Empowering Parents, Impacting Children. I wanted ELNC to use parents as a window, as a door to get to the children. Up till then, what we were doing, or what we still do in Michigan, we use children to get to the parents, which is good. We give children what they need and all that, but we forget the parents. So within EPIC, it's rooted in this whole idea that we're going to be very intentional. We're going to re-energize and bring up all the neighborhood organizations, all the support system. We need to get the community resources together because our parents are tired of running around, going all over the places. And we need to be an advocate for them and limit the number of home visitors that are going into one home. Some of our parents at that time have up to 3 or 4 home visitors going. So think about that. Do you do that for your own family? So within our EPIC model, all our classrooms have access, all our parents have access to a family coach, bachelor level social worker, family studies, family coach that does collaborative coaching and working with the parents. In a nutshell, because I'm going to run out of time, in a nutshell, all our parents have access to this family coach, and we see the coach minimum 3 times a year. But all the parents get access to this family coach. The family coach does the first thing that I want every parent to get. Do a basic needs assessment and collaborative with the coach. After doing the basic needs assessment, a parent scoring 3 or less automatically gets a family-centered plan that was co-developed with the parents. The parent is the driver. I know everybody says, in Africa, it takes a village to raise a child. I know that. But in Africa, we also have a saying that if you're carrying a child, and if something happened to you and to the child, you're going to take care of yourself first because you're feeling the pain. Our parents are feeling pain in terms of health, not having access to health, education, finances, food, and housing. They have that, and we need to address it. There's no way you're going to give a parent, a book to go home and read to a child when they don't have food to eat. So once we are done with the basic needs assessment, then we start helping them to build social capital. The social capital could be, I'm not getting enough money where I'm working. We can help them go to interviews to get a better job. Social capital could be, English is my second language, then take me where I'm going to learn how to speak English. Not just saying, you go figure that out. We work with our parents, we support them. As we go through these steps, basic needs are met, we increase social capital. Parents begin then to act as a change agent. I dream of a day where Michigan parents, vulnerable parents, can tell us what they want, not us telling them what they want. At the end of the day, the state of Michigan wants all children to be ready for kindergarten. You can't get to a child being ready to kindergarten without their parents being strong to support them, to mentor them, to coach them, to provide for them, and also to advocate for them. So this is ELNC EPIC model. We walk through that. Our goal is that we are going to create parent leaders who are in charge of their own community and of their own children. Because early childhood is one of those social determinants of health. We must pay attention to it. We want to make sure that our parents, we are using early childhood education to change our community, but also to help the children get ready. Next, I'm losing time. Next slide, please. Okay. So I show this because what we have done also within ELNC is, and I'm also glad that Hope Stars here is doing a lot of stuff. So my speech here is not to say that you're not, but my speech is to continue to encourage you to continue to pay attention in this parent leader. I know ELNC and Detroit Parent Network and Kamara's group, we did a joint advocacy legislative day, and we're going to continue to do it. For the past 5 years, ELNC have been doing legislative day. ELNC have changed a couple rules. Now we have a policy to support that in terms of transportation and also doing research for the 3-year-old program. Yeah. So we have a lot of resources. We have people coming in. We have a company donating diapers to our organization because parents need those basic needs to be met. They don't have the resources. And I don't know about you, but when you're running out of diaper and somebody's telling you to read to a child, some of the things that we take for granted can also help prevent child abuse and neglect. When parents are frustrated, when they are stressed, a lot can happen, and we have to be careful about that. So this is the evidence of our success since we implemented EPIC in our program in 2012. We have a higher attendance rate for our children. Parents, teachers, like you saw this afternoon, don't have to worry about is Nkechi Eze in the classroom because a family coach already done a scan and is calling the parents to say, hey, little Nikki is not in the school, what can we do? Because of our advocacy work with transportation, we now can use GSRP funds to pay for taxi if our parents need it when the weather is bad, or bus tickets. More family meetings, their basic needs, and also increasing their social capital. We have a lot of parents now that have their CDA, and they're also going to community college. We have a good program with the community college that they're working with us. We also have increasing confidence in our parents. Sometimes that's what it takes to push back. That's the confidence I had to tell somebody who asked me to spell my own child's name. We also have a higher rate of parental engagement. Before you can educate your parents, we have to engage them and support them. Saying that you're going to plan an education workshop for me and you don't know what I need is telling me that I don't know my own job as a parent. So you engage them, you support them, and then you educate them. In ELNC, we do targeted parent education. So we do all the basic needs assessment. If 100 out of our 200 parents or 400 parents are struggling with finances, we have 3 banks, Chemical Bank, Mercantile Bank, and PNC, that will come in and do financial literacy. When you educate me in things that I need readily right away, it will make sense to me and I'll get into it. And then we also have teachers reporting better use of their teaching time because they're not leaving the classroom to go call parents and see what's going on. And most importantly, we have a lot of parents involved in advocacy. Every year we take no less than 35 to 50 parents to Lansing for Legislative Day so that they can see. And it's usually one of their highlights to be prepared to go and talk to the legislators and tell them, to the extent that ELNC continues to provide the grassroots data for most of our legislators in Lansing. So this is what it's all about for us. Every year, all our 35 sites have graduation. And sometimes the graduation stops traffic. When you go into the Latino community and Granville Avenue, you better not be there around 3 p.m., 4 p.m. because the traffic is heavy. Most of the time, this is the first graduation in the family's household. And every child, we have the yellow ones, we have the blue ones. Each side, the parents determine the color of their own graduation, and we get that. And that's what it is for us every year. So to wrap up, really, parents need to be supported. We must put parents at the first because they are really the first that we need to use them as a vehicle to get to every child. If we respect our parents, if we put them in place. So my call to action to you guys, especially to my friend Denise, I know it's going to happen, and Kamara, to continue to put parents first. That's one of the lessons learned, at least from ELNC, that when you start with the parents, you're going to get it right. And that means parents need to be in a leadership position. Not, oh, I'm in a position, but I happen to be a parent. But the parents need to recommend who can represent them and be able to do that. I know that Detroit is in good hands. I know that Detroit's children is in good hands. And we are just, 2 hours away from you guys. Let us know we can continue to support you. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Woo! What a lunch. I felt like that was really great food as well as great nourishment for my soul. I am feeling really full. How about you? Thank you, Denise and Dr. Nkeche, for inspiring us. Want to give you all a reminder that we still have ideation stations out, and we have 2 more. Guess what? There's more. We're not done yet. We have 2 more design workshops, and one will be in here. That'll be high quality facilities to support early childhood development. That'll be in this room. And then we have policy advocacy to support children and families in the main dining hall, which, by the way, Jeff Capizano let me know that session is going to be the bomb. And he's super competitive, so he's encouraging you to go there. We'll begin that session at 2:15. 2:15, so you have 10 minutes to get to one of those sessions. We will also return back here. We're hoping around 3 or 3:10, and then we'll have our closing plenary so that we can hear from Dr. Caldoun. And as well as, has anybody been using their passports and getting their passports filled? So we do have little gifts for people who get those filled. So hopefully we'll be able to share those at the end as well. And then how many of you have ideas of things that you might do being a champion for children? Some people have some ideas. Those who don't, this is your opportunity to think through that, to develop those, because we'll ask you when we come back. Hopefully you'll have some ideas around how hope can start here. Thank you so much for your time. We look forward to you celebrating in the workshops. Thanks.